Welcome to Made in Walker, the podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
From NASCAR tracks to West Michigan streets, our next guest on this podcast knows how to bring big ideas to life with color, speed, and precision. We are talking to none other than Tim Horvath of HD5 Designs. Thank you so much for joining us on the Made in Walker podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's such an honor to be here, and looking forward to letting people know right here in Walker that we do some pretty incredible things.
Yes, and of course, many people may know who you are, but for some who are just tuning in, learning about you the first time, who is Tim Horvath and what is HD5?
Well, that's an absolute loaded question.
Yeah.
Tim Horvath, I'm full throttle, passionate, loving, caring, go-getter, that just lives life by seconds at a time. And HD5 is a company. I always say that it's a lifestyle. It's not just a company. It's a brand. We specialize in motorsports design all over the country, but we also do design for businesses. So we take your brand and raise it to the next level. We aren't just a graphics company or a clothing company. We are all about branding. So when I started, it originally started as Horvat Design, which was me. And then as I grew the team, I turned it into HD5 because people go, well, Horvath did this. No, Horvath didn't do it. It was Horvath's team. And so HD5 was born. And that was all about helping brands become relatable. Because when you look at the Nike swoosh, that's a brand. That's not just a company, that's a brand. And that's what I wanted to grow. So that's where HD5 was born.
And did NASCAR or Motorsports, was that originally part of the plan? Or how did you kind of navigate to where you are now?
So Motorsports runs very deep in my family. So my dad started racing when I was born. I grew up in the fourth turn of Berlin Raceway. So anybody that knows Berlin Raceway and knows the Rowdies in turn 4, that's where I grew up. My mom and dad were down in the pits racing every single weekend. I had a passion and love for it for a long time. And then I kind of, as I grew, I always knew I wanted to own a company. I just didn't know what. My creative side started coming out. We started with autograph cards and doing some stuff out at the racetrack, out at Berlin, for drivers. And then that just kind of evolved into doing graphics for them and continued to evolve into what it is now on a whole stage. So me growing up, I wanted to be a race car driver. My dad was a race car driver. That's what I wanted to be. But when you start getting older and understanding what it takes to be a race car driver and the financial standpoint of it, I realized that I needed to learn how to make a living in the sport that I loved. And that's how Horvat Design was born, and then HD5 evolved. So.
And it's really cool. You are based in Walker up on 3 Mile. So.
Yep. Yes. Oh, yeah. And this is home to me. It is one of those places, like I've traveled the country. I lived in Florida. I've lived outside of Michigan, but West Michigan is my home. So when I came back and really put my head down, I was 21 and I put my head down and said, this is what I wanted to do. I set up shop here in West Michigan. Berlin Raceway is my home track. So it was really good to have them on board and start doing work for them. And it just completely snowballed into what it is today.
Yeah, of course. And of course, everyone kind of has like a big break or so where you kind of, break into NASCAR or whatnot. So how did that come for you?
This question I read, and this has been weighing on me because I tried to figure out what my big break was. And I use this analogy a lot, that we just continue to snowball. And when I say snowball, there is a race down in Pensacola, Florida. We sponsor every single year. We've been there 10 years now. It's the Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. Tim Bryant and the Bryant family, fantastic race group down there. They called us up to do some windshield banners for them. And we got on board, started sponsoring the race. And that race, I credit most of my success to, because once we did it 10 years ago, we continue to snowball, continue to grow steam. The Snowball Derby is the first weekend in December. It's when the whole country shut down for racing because it's snowing or cold. And Chase Elliott's won it twice. Kyle Busch has won it twice. Darrell Waltrip has raced it. Like, the who's who in motorsports go to the Snowball Derby the first weekend of December. And that, to me, was the one spot that I realized that, our growth is there.
Yes, yeah. And talk about like the relationships too, finding yourself where you are. I mean, of course, I'm sure no matter the size or the image of the person, you have special relationships from everybody, from behind the scenes to the race car drivers.
That is 100%. Our business is 100% based on relationships. When we say we're a brand company, we live our brand at our shop. We have everybody at the shop has a racing or motorsports background, but I always say that, like, the bigger that you get, the bigger we get. Because if you come to us for work, like, if I promote you and do stuff for you, then the chances of you getting bigger and needing more fleet graphics or needing more clothing or whatever it might be, like, for me, it's all about that relationship, that handshake, that fun. We were just at MIS Speedway this weekend with one of our clients, Cold Break, right here in Walker. We took him to Daytona, Chris from Cold Break, and then we took him over to Michigan. And they have a really cool product that really works good for tailgating. And we took them with us to MIS, and he asked me, he goes, Tim, how can we get more sales directed towards you when you do something like this for me? And I looked right at him and I go, my inside of the racetrack, my personality and my relationship with the drivers, where they have a safe space to go. We were just mentioned on Kevin Harvick's podcast by our friend Mamba. He does all of the NASCAR intros for all the drivers and all the tracks. And he's on Kevin Harvick's podcast, and we fed him breakfast. He had somewhere where he could come, eat good food. He's treated like family, can change in the camper, can just get ready to go do his job. And that's huge for us because that safe space is worth more money than anything could ever buy.
Wow. And you wouldn't think of that, but knowing what they all have to go through, the constant kind of, fast-paced lifestyle, no pun intended, but that's pretty important. So
yeah, 100%. And the way, like, MIS is my home track. So when I go there, we set up our campers in a way so that when they come there, they're no regular race fan just like, all of a sudden looks in. And I mean, there was one time, I think it was last year, one of my new employee came up, and I was like, hey, why didn't you come in the camper? And he goes, did you see who's in the camper? I figure you needed a pass. And I think we had like 6 NASCAR drivers and crew chiefs, and like everybody we went there, we ate, we had drinks, they were safe, and they could just unwind. And like, that's the important part of HD5 is being able to be yourself around us and us be ourselves and create your brand to mimic what you are.
Yeah, that is incredible. You don't think about how important that is, but you've got a secret sauce there. Yeah. And as far as like some of your designs, can you look back at one or two of them, and are you more proud of one than the other, or they each kind of equally have a story?
Well, when it comes to our designs, like our design crew continues to get larger. It used to just be me. And I'm proud of what I built, but I realized that if I wanted to grow, I couldn't do it myself. And so as I built the company, I started getting surrounded with talent and creative talent. And we've really put that together for each other to make amazing stuff. So anytime that somebody comes to us, like, we put our heart and soul into it. There's no cutting corners. Our motto at the shop is do it right the first time, every time. And that's like we stand by it. But a couple of the fun, like, I get asked, and it's like every time I think that I've gotten the coolest thing I'll ever do, something else comes along. But big ones that stand out are SRX came to town for Berlin Raceway. And the week before, they crashed every one of their cars. And so they came and they hired us and two of our installers to rewrap every one of their vehicles. And they were like dead on, like, this is how you do stuff. This is how we want it. And I had at least 20 people come up to me from that crew and say, like, they've been in the sport for a long time. They've never seen a crew like ours. And like, that was super big for me. It was like, man, that means that I'm doing something right. So from us laying it down, like, and them getting the next graphics kit out, me and two of my installers, we were literally done with the car. And he's like, I've never had people standing waiting for work. So that was super awesome to be a part of SRX in Berlin, complete sellout, so magical. That was awesome. And then this past year, a couple weeks ago, the return to Rockingham Speedway. So it's such a blessing in so many ways. I got the phone call and we did all 3 trophies for the ARCA Menard Series. We did the NASCAR Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. We did all 3 trophies for the race weekend as they brought back Rockingham, which hasn't been raced in 17 years. And we were the people who got to go to victory lane in all 3 races, and just fantastic. Like, let me be creative, let me go do my thing, and that's super special to me.
Glad you have that outlet, and you know, for having such a creative, and you're on so much. How do you unwind? You know, what is something that you can do to kind of, you know, tune off if and when you need to? So,
unwinding, unwinding is difficult for me.
Okay.
I always say, like, when we were at MIS and I go in my camper and I shut the door and I just sit down on the couch and I relax, because once I step out of those camper doors, I gotta be the larger than life character, which is me anyway. I'm fun. I'm approachable. But like I tell people, it's hard for me to get to a point where you see me down or you see me bummed out, because I have so many people that rely on me being the happy guy and the fun guy. So like, unwinding for me is I have a buddy with a go-kart track in his backyard, and I'll go strap on the helmet and we'll go race dirt track and go around and laugh with each other. I go ride dirt bikes with friends. I go do stuff that's like still adrenaline pumping, but it's like me and myself, you know? So, and we were talking before this, but when I get out on the road, I like to travel by vehicle on the road because it's my windshield therapy, and I get to unwind as I cruise to the next location and just get to be inside my head and just chill out for a little while. So
you were saying that you did it, kind of started doing that during the pandemic, doing these Facebook Lives, just kind of, you know, make a drink, sit down, let's talk a little bit. So where did that go?
Well, and I tell you what, the Facebook Lives and the stuff that we're working on right now is so special to me, because I never realized how many people, like, they see me at the racetrack. And then when I did those during the pandemic, they seen me as a real, just normal person in my home hanging out. So for me, like, when people see me, I just had it at Charlotte. I was standing outside Cletus McFarland's car, who we sponsor, and a kid came up and he goes, HD5, you're HD5, you're the guy. And I go, I am, hey man. And he goes, I love you guys. And I'm like, we love you too. And it's like, when you have that, like, there's so many people that will say, I know who you are. And I'm like, well, who am I? And they'll tell me, they're like, you do this and you do that. But when they relate to me that I'm just a normal guy that's just out there doing something really, really cool, that's my blessing. Like, that's my favorite thing in the world. So doing stuff like that has opened up doors, and we're getting ready to do a couple really fun things that we'll be announcing here shortly, that will be on that same level of getting to know people in the racing world, the rap world, and just life in general that surround myself with. So that's important to me, and it's good people. It's always good people.
Stay in tune to that. We'll get back to that in a second. And, you know, what is your motivation kind of that gets you up every day and such?
You know, for the longest time, my motivation was my dreams, my goals. as I continue to grow in this industry, and then I start having employees, a lot of my motivation has turned from me and what I have done to my employees. So getting to know my employees and understanding what their hopes and goals and dreams are and helping them achieve those things, that is every day for me. People ask me every single day, like, your dream, what's your dream? And I always tell them, like, I've lived them. Like, I have dreams and I have goals that I set for myself, but still to this day, my dad raced Daytona in 1999. 20 years to the day, my name went around Daytona on a race car as a graphics company. Wow. Well, 20, you can't write that, right? Yeah. And you can't dream that. Like, for me, those dreams and goals have continued to level up, but have been successful. So now going back and my crew at the shop, it's like my dreams become their dreams and their dreams become my dreams, because I want to see them successful and I want to see them happy. So, and on top of that, our clients, same deal. I have very high-end clients that have huge goals, and I'm on the edge of my seat every single weekend cheering them on, trying to get them to get to their goals.
Yeah. And then this kind of goes into the next question as far as, where do you see yourself 5-10 years or so down the road? What are you planning for? Or are you just, I got to go day by day right now?
Yeah. So I ask whenever anybody comes to us and is in a job interview, we ask them what their goals and hopes are. What do you see yourself in 5 years? And this is the first time I think somebody's ever asked me, because I'm one of those people who plan ahead. My head thinks I'm very strategic in a lot of things I do. So I'm always like, okay, what I do today is going to affect me tomorrow. What I do next week is going to affect me 5 years from now. So right now, my goals of HD5 is continue to grow, continue to be at a level that is unseen in the industry, whether it's business or motorsports. But I'm hoping that we'll get a couple things and get a couple more locations around the nation. But our home base will always be right here in West Michigan. This will always be the headquarters of HD5, and then from there, hopefully have a couple little sub outlets that people can come to and have somebody right there to help them. So that's my 5 to 10 year plan of growth down the East Coast and make HD5 a little bit bigger of a brand than it already is.
Yeah, and love, again, like the hometown kind of connection. Just small things that you've done for the community, giving back. You've kind of done some of our flag boxes for the city of Walker, also situated outside of Sobey Meats too. Yep. That was wonderful. That is something that's pretty near and dear to the hearts here of Walker residents and West Michigan too. So.
Oh, I mean, we've worked the Touch a Truck.
Yeah.
We brought Carson Hocevar and Eric Jones's cars out there. I know they're revamping the city hall area and the police department and all that stuff. So Touch a Truck is a little on hold right now, but when it comes back, like getting out in the community, teaching these young kids about motorsports and racing is one of my passions. I love talking to the little kids. We were just bringing the trophy out to Berlin, and a couple first-time little kids were out there, and I was taking photos with them. And to have that in the community, the flag boxes, donating flag boxes, talking to the VFW and how successful that's been, because most people don't know where to dispose of their older flags, and having those flag boxes outside Sobey Meats and in City Hall have been huge for the community. But I'm all about West Michigan. It's where I was born and raised. It's where I tore up the streets for a long time, and it's where I still live to this day.
Love it. A lot of other stories I'm sure we can't go into right now, but if folks can follow you for your updates, where can they find you?
You can find us on Instagram is our favorite, due to the fact that we do a lot of cool things. So that's photo based. So Instagram, Facebook, or X, or Twitter, whatever way you go with it. Find us on there. We're working on our website right now to post that. We're always doing super fun stuff. Follow along, share it with your friends. If you see us out at an event, say hi. We love seeing people, get on the social medias. We're always doing something cool. One of my favorite things about our social media is you won't see a lot of like our products we do. You'll see a lot of the lifestyle we live. So you'll see a lot of us at the racetracks, on pit road. You'll see a lot of us at businesses that we work with. A lot of the events like Touch a Truck, we try to blast that out on social media as much as we can.
Awesome, Tim. You're such a gem to the community. So fun to talk to. Many more stories, I'm sure. But thank you so much for being with us today on the Made in Walker podcast.
No, thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this community, and I look forward to seeing what's next.
Awesome. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Made in Walker podcast. If you have comments or questions about this podcast, or if you have suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop us an email at podcast@walker.city. Made in Walker is the official podcast of the city of Walker, Michigan. You can find Made in Walker wherever you get your podcasts.